time in 4 years against Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yes. The Eagles are winless in NFC East play this season. 2 games are remaining, and they're looking to avoid their first winless season in division play since 2005. So New York is a 2.5-point favorite in the city of brotherly love, a city you are very familiar with. Mr. Stephen A. Smith, who wins this one?
Well, I'm going with the Giants. I don't think the Giants are going to lose this game.
Yeah, you are. Big blue all day, baby.
I don't think it should be hard at all. I don't give a damn that Lane Johnson is coming back from his 10-game suspension. I'm not in panic mode about the New York Giants because of the Philadelphia Eagles. Lane Johnson is not going to help their running game, but so much because there's questions as to whether or not these guys can truly get it done. And Ryan Matthews and Darren Sproles, even though Darren Sproles has tried and proven, that hit that he took last week, I'm wondering whether or not his faculties are still in order. Don't get me started with the receivers. As far as I'm concerned, you only got one in Jordan Matthews. If you're Nelson Aguilar, this dude was put on, he was on the active list and still got benched on a team that don't have wide receivers, and that's the position that he plays. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that is? So I'm not concerned. And then when you look at it from that perspective, it was nice to see a tight end sighting from the Philadelphia Eagles last week or so. Their defense obviously is not stout, but it's not poor. But when you look at the New York Giants, the number 3 ranked defense in the NFL, number 6 against the rush, suspect against the pass, Carson Wentz threw for 364 yards the first meeting against them. I don't anticipate that will happen again. This is a game where the Giants need to win every single game because the NFC playoff picture has not been decided. The Eagles are on the outside looking in. They're playing with house money. If you are the New York Giants and you have a concern, that's basically it. They have nothing to lose, so they'll take chances. They'll veer away from conventional wisdom. They'll do things that are unpredictable. But for the most part, that's about all you have to worry about. If the Giants are who some people think they are, this should not be a difficult evening. It could be tough for a little while, but you should be able to handle your business with relatively no problem. Giants, 30. Eagles, 20.
Well, that covers the spread. They're only 2.5-point favorites. They're on the road, so they're saying that it's still not touchdown favorites. It's not like a blowout type game, even though the Eagles have a terrible record and the Giants have a great record this year. This is a divisional rivalry game that, as a Giants fan, I can tell you, when I see the Cowboys on the schedule, I'm not sweating it. When I see Washington on the schedule, I'm like, good. When I see Philadelphia on the schedule, damn. That is the team that has been the bane of my existence as a Giants fan throughout my life watching football, really, especially especially the last 20 years. I don't even know what the record is offhand, but I know that they always play the Giants tough, even when they're not good and the Giants are good. And Lane Johnson does make a difference. Look, with him, they were a ball control team that was among the best in football, not just in terms of wins and losses, in terms of point differential, defense, time of possession, all those kind of indicators, like how the Cowboys are nowadays, that tell you that's an actually good team. You say, well, why? How could it be just one offensive lineman? Well, it's the best offensive lineman. It allows them to run the ball, which sets up the pass, and they become a different team. Here's the good news for the Giants. The Giants, as Ty Schalter has pointed out on 538.com, ESPN, do well against ball control teams. Like, look at the Cowboys. Look at the Lions. Look, those teams, Giants are okay. It's the aggressive downfield teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers that have given them problems. The Eagles fall into the former category. They are a ball control type team when they're going well. If Lane Johnson is effective, and again, he's coming off 10 days, hasn't had time to develop chemistry with everybody, gets thrown right into the fire. So the Giants should be favorites in this game, and I do like them to win, but I think it's a close, tough game. And I hate it. I hate this matchup. I always hate it when the Giants play the Eagles, particularly when the Eagles are in a position to play spoiler late in the season. Stick it to the Giants, who are on a roll right now, break their momentum, and they're getting a player back who made a difference for them. I hate it.
And
Jackrabbits, questionable.
As wrong as you often are, and as much as I beat you up about it, I'm going to be light on you today because I understand there's love and sensitivity there. And it's the holiday season. And I got love for you, my brother. I really, really do.
Well, thank you very much.
So I'm going to give you the love is here, baby. The love is here, okay? Here's the deal. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing with their offensive line intact for the first time all season long. Lane Johnson's back at right tackle. Barbie's going to move back to left guard. You got to take that into consideration. This is an Eagles touchdown that hasn't registered more than 2 touchdowns since week 3. Okay, so we understand that they're on a come up. Zach Ertz usually performs well against the New York Giants, but Jordan Matthews does have that ankle injury. Okay, I'm not sure about their running game, and we know how stout the Giants are against the run. They're the third-ranked defense in points allowed, but 15th overall in the NFL because of their 23rd-ranked passing defense. But so they're vulnerable to some degree if you had Jordan Matthews healthy, and I believed in Zach Ertz the way that I used to. I'm not so sure about that. I think the biggest argument that could be made for the Philadelphia Eagles for this particular game is the fact that they're playing with house money. They got nothing to lose. Yeah. They're playing with nothing to lose. They
also,
can take chances.
Let's not forget Carson Wentz. You're right.
And the Giants can't be caught sleeping.
Well, I mean, listen, Eric Flowers is beaten on every play. You know, either Eli has to get rid of the ball immediately, or Flowers is called for holding. I mean, basically, the two outcomes of those plays on the left side.
Yep.
And I know Carson Wentz doesn't have offensive weapons. At skills positions, they don't have any talent there. And the receivers drop balls. They're not that good to begin with. The running game is suspect. You mentioned all that, even with Lane Johnson there. But with a little more protection, let's not forget what we all thought about Carson Wentz after week 4 or week 5. The question was, who was better, Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott? And early in the season, I looked at them both. I said, they're both really good. I think I see a little more from Carson Wentz. When he has a little something to work with, or when he had it earlier in the season, I know Jeff Saturday said maybe the league just figured him out. Yep. But that guy is a baller. And if you protect him a little bit, he makes me nervous as a Giants fan.
I understand. Well, you go ahead and be nervous. I mean, I think this is the season to be jolly, unless you're an Eagles fan. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, please, if the Giants could just beat the Cowboys and then the Patriots.
I'm saying nothing because I'm jinxing nothing. Let's move on, folks. Disturbing video from the DUI arrest of Michael Floyd was released, but he still remains on the Patriots roster. The guys will react to that after the break. We'll share the video with you as well. Also coming up, a Hall of Famer calls Dak Prescott the best young quarterback he has ever seen. Stephen A. cannot wait to talk about that. We'll get into it.
You better not shout. You better not cry. You better not pout.
Right after the game, though.
What he did tonight was right. That's what people do. They say they're sorry. They accept responsibility. And they want to make sure that the other party knows that. Look, a lot of crap has happened to him. And a lot of bad shots at him. That doesn't mean it's right for you to try to get back or, just don't pay attention to it. You can't pay attention to the fact that you did something wrong and you let your team down. To think that it's the last thing that's said about this to him is wrong. Obviously, we will do more. It doesn't mean you have to see it.
Max, obviously this isn't a professional, still a college kid. So how does Coach K look after all of this? Like
the benevolent dictator, which is okay. He's earned that credibility. Look, he's the most successful coach in the modern era in college basketball. He's the most, since John Wooden, really. Maybe Dean Smith, you want to throw him in there, but certainly Dean Smith was revered in that way. But he has an enormous amount of credibility, and that's the way he comes off, like the benevolent dictator. That said, were I Coach K, I would suspend Grayson Allen from all team activities for a period of time. I mean, it needs to, the main thing is if they're serious about not only setting an example at the school for other student athletes, but also if they're concerned with Grayson Allen and his behavior, it has got to burn. The consequence has to be immediate, and it needs to be severe enough that it hurts. So the next time he has the impulse to touch the stove, he doesn't because he remembers, because he has a scar.
It's interesting that you say that because I'm thinking about Coach K, and what I'm thinking about is the Coach K that took the liberty of lecturing Dylan Brooks last year when they went against Oregon in the NCAA tournament. Dylan Brooks was getting the better of Grayson Allen to some degree, agitating him to some degree, and, basically didn't want to shake hands or whatever after the game, and Coach K reprimanded him. I have no problem with Coach K's decision that he reached this morning, suspending Grayson Allen indefinitely. I get and I acknowledge the fact that he said last night that his actions were unacceptable. But the Coach K that seemed so willing to come to the defense of his own player was the same Coach K that was willing to lecture Dylan Brooks last year, to the point where the Oregon coach stepped up and basically sat up there and said, you coach your players, I'll coach mine.
He was right.
And he was right to say that. And then Coach K just wanted to, downplay all of that and step aside from it. Having said everything, what I come to, the thought that enters my mind is this. And I have no issue with Coach K. 1,055 career victories overall, 982 at Duke, winning 79% of his games. The man is elite. He's great. He's a Hall of Famer. We know this. The issue that I have is that if this were Coach John Calipari instead of Coach K, would we be talking about Grayson Allen?
No.
Or would we be talking about Coach Cal?
Cal.
So if we're talking about Coach Cal, why can't we talk about Coach K? Because I hear everybody on the news all over the place talking about Grayson Allen. He's a kid. Now, there are guys in the NBA, but that don't mean they're men. They're still kids, young men trying to become men, needing to evolve. At least this dude's in college in a structured environment, recognizing that you may not be ready for the real world just yet. But Coach K, the grown man, the winner within, even though he's not the one that wrote that book, the guy that has accomplished so much, my issue with him is that his actions about Grayson Allen are not consistent with what his actions were about Dylan Brooks. And so you can ask the question, Max, why that is. But last point is, again, if this were John Calipari, we'd be all over him. You're the problem. And your players are just indicative, or they're emblematic of a bigger and realer problem, which is you, John Calipari. But far be it for any of us to say that about Coach K. No, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We're going to let Coach K off the hook. If something goes down with John Calipari like this, I don't want to hear a word.
I want to talk more about that point. I think it's a good one. First of all, Dylan Brooks is not on his team.
I know.
So when we look at college coaches and it's wrapped up in this idea that somehow it's for the good of the student athlete generally. No, it's not. They're looking out for their guys. And when he lectures another guy and the other coach tells him, worry about your own players, that's right. Worry about your own players. So let's look at how Coach K worries about his own players. Here's what's damning about this as it relates to Coach K, who, if he feels like he knows best, and he knows better than everyone else about how to handle this, his track record, at least in terms of winning, suggests that he's right. But in terms of the character of young men, this is recidivist behavior. So if this is your best player...
Did you say recidivist?
Yes, that means
I don't have my dictionary. I mean, you
do it again.
You do it
again.
again.
Yes.
Recidivist.
Like, someone goes to jail, they get out, they go back in.
I suspected that's what it meant, but I wanted to make sure.
My vocabulary is getting so much better since you're on the show, and I appreciate it.
I just wanted to make sure. I'm elevating my vocabulary.
Stephen A. doesn't have a small vocabulary. He just plays that guy on TV sometimes with me.
Listen, he's helping the civilians like me over here.
I just need to know.
But the point is that kind of recidivist behavior you have to question. If that's your best player, Coach K, and ostensibly your leader, supposedly, your leader.
I knew that one. I knew that one. I learned that one last month. I learned that one last month, but go ahead.
And if he's your leader, then, and he's done this twice in the past, and this is an issue, why did it come up again? In other words, that is damning of Coach K. Your best player and supposedly your leader has done this twice in the past, and it happened again. You're absolutely right. If it was Calipari, that the story would be Coach Cal, but the story somehow here is not as much Coach K.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second and take the coaches out of this. I get that he's a college kid, but he is 21 years old. So at some point, don't you think he needs to be responsible and police himself and know better?
Now.
Yes, but that's why I brought up what you saw on the bench. Because when you see what I saw on the bench, that's not immaturity. That's something else. He seemed out of control. And when it comes to you being out of control,
that was a meltdown.
When it comes to a meltdown, your age doesn't matter, because now it's about there's a problem. And it looks like there's a problem. The reason why Coach K is a different subject, Max, is because of this. Look, Coach K is the coach of Team USA basketball 3 times over. It's going to be Greg Popovich now. He did it in 2008, 2012, 2016. I've been on the record, as much as I love me some Coach K, I always felt it gave him an unfair advantage over other college coaches. Coach K is the closest thing to untouchable in college basketball, and I'm saying,
you're touching him?
He needs to be touched on this one, and it's rare because Coach K is close to perfection. But if you're not going to get on a Coach Cal and others, you listen. You can't give him a pass because of what Max said. This is the third time, so why wasn't this addressed
your best
before?
player and leader, and that's a reflection on the coach. I think in some way it has to be, just as the success is a reflection on the coach. I want to bring up one name quickly. Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, right? Okay, so good dude. Anyone who knows will tell you that's a really good dude. And he had an impulse control issue for a lot of his career and could melt down. And he has taken steps to address that and has worked on himself and has talked about mental health, etc., and has transformed himself. I'm sure he still struggles with it, from someone who that was a major issue to someone who is really a role model in many respects now. And so that can be done. Behavior can be changed, if only on the margins, if people work on themselves. But if they're never forced to do it, really, if it's just lip service is paid toward it, they won't do it. It's really important that this is addressed.
But getting back to Coach K, because he's Coach K, there are times where he himself, and I mean no disrespect because God knows I respect him, but there are times where he comes across as a bit above.
No, I know. It's been holier than thou,
and it's like, and I've seen him that way in protecting his own players, but I've also seen him that way against former players of his own,
Elliot Ness,
who dare I say, have have given opinions about his program that have been somewhat critical. It will be real interesting to see how he treats Jay Williams going forward, considering that our very own Jay Williams called for Grayson Allen to be suspended for 5 games, and Jay Williams is one of, if not, is one of the greatest players in the history of Duke's program. He should be. He is this dude was electric.
Yeah, national champion.
And I see love coming to the Bobby Hurleys of the world and others like that. I don't see nearly as much love, even to Jay Billis. I don't see nearly as much love being accorded to my man Jay Williams. I could be wrong. I'm just talking about what I see through my eyes during the time. I don't see
While
it.
we're talking about good dudes, another good dude.
Yep. And speaking of,
player,
Grayson Allen suspended indefinitely. Also be interesting to see what that means in terms of games he will actually miss, which we'll continue to do.
Molly, I don't know if you know, I'm sorry to regurgitate, Jay Williams was a bad boy. I mean, this brother was off the chain.
It is known.
Jay
Coming
Williams.
up after the break, much respect to Jay Will. The math is very simple. If the Giants win, they are in the playoffs. So why is Max Kellerman so nervous? We'll let you know. And later in the show, the police video has been released from Michael Floyd's DUI arrest, and it is very disturbing. How bad of a look is this for the New England Patriots? We react to all of it. First take, just getting started.
So precious is yours, is